All right, well, today I'm going to tell you about something kind of terrible. Flats, who is a gaming YouTuber, most prominent in the hero shooter genre. Notably, he's been playing Overwatch for many, many years now. I personally have seen his content on a couple occasions. And recently he swapped mostly to Rivals, but he plays a little bit of Overwatch in there. It's pretty good. And it comments about this other thing, the other kind of splice of the topic, the Streamer Awards, which had a lot of issues. They were around recently, and personally, I have a little bit of a problem with them, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I guess I'll let him take it away.
Like for example, um, all the nominees are supposed to get like red carpet time, right? You're supposed to get like an interview. Like that's one of the big things is like you get a red carpet interview because you're nominated for an award. Me, SK, and Bogart got like kicked because like they were like, yeah, we're behind. Sorry, like you're just gonna move on from you. And then somebody like a bigger like another streamer walked like right around us and just went up and they just did the interview and I was like, okay, all right, fair enough, I guess. Um, so like I don't know. I think that if I hadn't won, I would have definitely felt a little bit more jaded. Because if I was in like Boger's position, I feel like I would have felt jaded because you spend all this money to go, and to be at the event, and then you kind of just get like kind of kicked to the side a little because like obviously you're not like big 20,000 viewer streamer or one of the big IRL streamers. Um, that sounds like production issues. It's production, but it's also whoever's managing that part of the event, right? So it's a management issue, whether it's on production or whoever's managing that section. I probably would never go again. Unless it was like for variety streamer of the year or something like that. Um, and there's a lot of reasons. Um, I think the number one is it's very clear that it's no longer about gaming as much anymore.
All right, now you may have noticed that he talked about expenses, which is something you may not really think of when it comes to this event. Oh, why would people pay to get into this event? Well, it's not that. It's more like the cost to book a hotel, the cost to fly in. Keep in mind, this is Los Angeles. And I think the reason they hosted it in Los Angeles is because a lot of content houses are situated over there. And it's something that I really, really dislike about the whole streaming thing recently is that a lot of these streamers are living the lifestyles of rappers and like they just move over to LA. And I mean, it's nothing against the city, but it just feels like they're almost repeating what Hollywood was and they're replicating it into the digital age. And I feel like with Mizkif, it was a really prominent example of somebody being given all this power in a certain, area and just completely wrecking everything with it. It was terrible. I mean, obviously it's different than what old Hollywood was, but I still just don't like it, is what I'm getting at. I just don't appreciate the idea of like a part of the country, one single part that has all the people in it for one industry. For streaming especially. It doesn't make much sense. You don't have to be there. The taxes aren't even good. The city itself isn't even that good. I don't understand it very much. But another thing he was talking about, and this is something that a lot of people online have been speaking on, is that they didn't really like the streamer awards. They felt that it was Cutie Cinderella, who runs the event, favoriting all the other people that she works with. Notably FaZe got a lot of airtime on there, but yeah, okay. I kind of think these claims are a little bit wishy-washy. Because at the end of the day, while you can be like, "Oh, she's favoriting her friends all day," these are the people who did the best this year. A lot of the LA crowd dominated this year on streaming. Jason the Ween, Stable Ronaldo, all those guys, especially FaZe. FaZe, which was like the big example, everyone was like, why is FaZe getting this much? They dominated this year. They grew rapidly. I mean, granted, they were already kind of solid at the beginning of the year, but this year really, really pushed them up. So while I don't like the whole idea of like, oh, everything's going to the content houses, I understand that it's not like that corrupt. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, you do have to recognize that these guys did do a good job. They did a phenomenal job. And other people got streaming awards too. Kai Cenat walked away with quite a few, to my knowledge. He did incredibly well. But he wasn't part of the big content houses, is what I'm saying. However, that flagrant disregard of someone else, notably Flats in this case, and the two others mentioned, is not cool in any way. That is blatantly irritating. And Flats mentioned that he didn't want to go because of, gaming not being as prevalent anymore, and that perfectly makes sense to me. I wouldn't want to go to an award show if my industry was mostly becoming something that I didn't partake in very often, which is IRL streaming. That's perfectly fine. But I would imagine this was definitely a furthering cause of this, like this bad event. I'd imagine that pushed him a little bit quicker to be like, I don't think I'm gonna show up to these. But also, you can't be too mad about it. You can't be like, Twitch is going the way of the dodo. They're going all live streamers, all IRL streaming, right? And it's like, well, they're just gonna do what does well. IRL streaming is doing great. I think it's because of me personally, I think it's because of the parasocial relationship going on there, but that's just me. Yeah, I think that'll be it. So have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.